So welcome back to another one, you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Toyota in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in the brand new 2025 Toyota Tacoma because there are a couple nice upgrades for the 2025 model year. You also get 2 years or 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance as well. And I feel like the TRD Sport might just be the sweet spot in the Tacoma lineup here. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so rather than rambling off all the different configurations here, I'm just going to put them on the screen for you and say the starting price will start at $39,400. It can go up as high as $43,100, and then there's even more options on top of that if you really wanted to. But power plant is going to be the same regardless across the board. Powering the beast is a 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out 278 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, slightly less for the manual transmission, coming in at 270 horsepower. Yes, there is a manual transmission available. I'll be going over that in a little bit, but 317 pound-feet of torque at 1,700 RPM, 310 pound-feet of torque for the manual. Tacoma does come in either rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive configurations. Power is sent to the ground through an 8-speed automatic, which is what we have today, or a 6-speed manual. 0 to 60 time, approximately 7 seconds here. We'll be testing that out here in a little bit, but MPG numbers coming in at 19 in the city, then 23 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the Tacoma, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's a little circular dial located just to the left of the shifter. So you got two different options. You can put it in that tow and haul mode, or you got the drive mode options, and those are going to include normal, eco, and sport, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now that I've got all of that out of the way, I just put it in that sport driving mode. Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the acceleration here to the test as it starts to snow flurry out here, and let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. All right, got our straightaway in 3, 2, 1, go! Turbo lag. Oh my gosh. All right. It's not the quickest thing in the world. I mean, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds flat, that's decent for a truck, I will say that, but it's not the quickest thing in the world. I certainly wouldn't be doing any kind of drag racing in the Taco, but yeah, it gets the job done. I'll just put it that way. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so as expected, 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes do come standard. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that comes in at a respectable 121 feet. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Pretty much right on point for what this truck is. As far as braking feel goes, it's decent. It's actually a little bit on the firmer side of things, which I didn't expect, because typically in trucks you get a much softer braking feel. So the Taco is kind of on the firmer side of things. I kind of like that. But then touching on suspension and handling up front, you're going to get an independent double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, coil spring multi-link rear suspension, but with the TRD Sport, you also get a sport tuned suspension, which essentially just means upgraded shocks, but that's pretty darn cool if you ask me. But also, of course, front and rear stabilizer bars. Overall, as far as ride quality goes, as we're cruising down probably the smoothest road here in Hagerstown, absolutely no issues whatsoever. But love that mountain line in the background. That's pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, ride quality is perfectly fine. As far as steering feel goes, it's actually weighted on the heavier side of things, which I definitely love. You don't always find that in trucks either, but you definitely do find it in the Nissan Frontier, actually, come to think of it. That's a very heavy steering feel as well, but it's nice. I definitely like the steering feel here in the Tacoma, so absolutely no issues there. As far as cabin noise goes, this is probably the perfect test. I'm going 55 miles per hour right on the dot right now, so I'll let you guys be the judge through my external mic. It's not that bad. I have absolutely no issues with that. And touching on rear visibility, if you have ever driven a truck before, you know exactly what that looks like. It's pretty much universal across the board, so I can see perfectly fine out of my rear view mirror. So again, no issues there. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2025 Toyota Tacoma. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Toyota Tacoma, finished in ice cap. Looks good with the snow, but as always, let's go ahead and start with where the Tacoma is made, taking a look at the VIN. First character is the number 3, indicating that the new Tacoma is built and assembled in Mexico, actually, in case you were curious. But going to the sides a little bit, LED headlights with LED daytime running lights do come standard. You get the automatic feature with those. You also get automatic high beams, so if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. You do have LED fog lights. You guys can see those down below as well. That comes standard on the TRD Sport. You gotta love that. And in case you were curious about the ground clearance, that actually comes in at 11 inches, which is pretty impressive. That number is not bad at all. And you guys can see those front air curtains to the sides there as well, helping direct air around the wheel and tire combination. But anyways, in case you guys are curious about that that plastic piece on the bottom, yes, that can be removed. It's just a couple bolts you just unscrew, so that's pretty easy. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of the Taco. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, body colored power adjustable side mirrors coming standard. You do have that Tacoma lettering found on the front doors. That looks pretty darn good as well. Cast aluminum running boards go for $1,195 in case you wanted those. An option that we of course do not have with us here today. It wasn't too incredibly hard to get in, but it is a little bit of a higher step up, I guess you could say, but it didn't bother me. But 18-inch TRD Sport specific alloys then for our particular trim level as well. I think they look definitely pretty good. It's like a graphite slash brushed aluminum look to them, so they definitely work well with the black Tacoma lettering there on the front doors. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, and so now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way to the very top, you do have a matte black shark fin antenna, kind of an integrated rear spoiler just below that as well. You have an integrated brake light there as well. That's pretty nice. You got the Tacoma lettering spelled out horizontally on the rear tailgate. You got 4 and 7-pin connectors just to the left of that license plate there. Towing capacity, in case you were curious, that is going to come in at 6,400 pounds. And of course, you got that single exhaust outlet tucked away underneath there on the driver's side. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so but now since we are around to the back of the Tacoma, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, of course there is a lever on the tailgate itself, and it is an easy lower tailgate, so it's not just going to come crashing down on you, so I liked that too. But once opened up, payload capacity comes in at 1,700 pounds. That's a decent amount. Got a deck rail system back there. You have adjustable tie-down cleats, but there's a lot of extras back there too. You got LED bed lighting. There is also a little bit of storage found on the back right-hand side in the bed there. That was pretty cool. There's a 120 volt power outlet just above that, and then on the other side of the bed you actually have another little hidden area. If you open that up, you have a 12 volt power outlet and a USB charging port too. I don't think I've ever seen that on a truck before. Maybe I don't review enough trucks, but that is pretty darn cool. But then making our way up to the rear legroom, that comes in at 33.7 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. That's how much space I had back there. They are 60-40 split flip up rear seats, of course, so there is a little bit of storage underneath of them as well, so a typical truck fashion there. And there is a power sliding rear window that is going to be optional. It looks like we actually do have that option, so that's going to be located up top here, and that is pretty darn cool as well. I like that. But 12 volt power outlet for those rear passengers, USB charging ports as well. So then making our way up to the front seats, they are manually adjustable cloth seats. You can get them heated for $585. Heated and ventilated front seats are going to be optional. Power adjustable front seats are going to be optional as well. Softex upholstery is going to be optional. We got some of those options because I am loving these heated seats right now, because the feels like temperature is 7 degrees right now, which is, it's pretty darn cold. But overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it was 100% on point. Toyota and Lexus always do a wonderful job when it comes to their seat comfort, so I definitely didn't have any issues there. But take a look at the steering wheel. This is pretty nice too. You got tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped. Heated steering wheel is going to be optional. Another option that we do have with us here today. I definitely like that. And 10-2 grips are plenty thick, and the 6 o'clock grip, I guess you can call it, is definitely plenty thick as well. So I'm a big fan of the steering wheel, I'll just say that. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup a very basic key here. Got your Toyota logo all the way to the bottom, and then lock and unlock. That's about it. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that bright red engine start button, just like the Honda S2000 back in the day, located just to the left of the infotainment screen. And so once started up, you are looking at a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. It definitely looks good. Cool thing about that digital gauge cluster is when you change the drive modes, it does give you a nice cool little graphic when you do that. So I like seeing that up there. It also kind of changes the background colors a little bit. So like for sport driving mode, you're going to have a lot of red hues. Normal is going to be, for the most part, black and white. But so I think Toyota did an okay job with those gauges. Wouldn't have minded a bit more customization actually, like a lot of the other competitors do, but they did a pretty darn good job. I like that. Tachometer is going to be on your left, speedometer is on your right. There's outside temperature, digital speedometer front and center, and there's plenty you can control up there if you wanted to. How many miles you have left until you hit empty as well, of course. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Auto dimming rear view mirror does come standard, and ours actually has home link control, so up to 3 different garage doors. I definitely like that. Automatic climate control is nice as well, so you set your temperature, it's going to automatically hit that for you. Universal home remote is going to be optional, by the way. That's what I was just saying. Wireless phone charger also going to be optional. It's located just in front of the shifter here. Also just in front of the shifter though, you have a couple USB charging ports, a 12-volt power outlet, little bit of enclosed kind of area to the right of the shifter. That's cool. And there's a little piece of plastic that sticks up. I guess that's kind of like a grocery bag holder for the passenger side. Just behind the shifter, you have a couple cup holders, of course, and within the center armrest, there's a decent amount of storage in there. But you also have these cool little pockets found at the doors. I was kind of a fan of that. Also, just above the passenger side glove box, you have this nice gloss black Tacoma lettering, a little bit of storage on top of that as well. And of course, my very favorite part of the Taco, up top here on the ceiling, you have your taco holder. So it's actually not for sunglasses, it is for tacos. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention as well, there is stainless steel pedals. So I like that as well. It looks like a little bit of LED lighting down there too. So well done, Toyota. That turned out pretty good. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. So an 8-inch color touchscreen display is going to be the standard setup, but we got a lot of options with us here today. I'll just say that. So we got the 14-inch color touchscreen display. It's basically like a mini TV front and center. So Bluetooth and audio streaming coming with that. Wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can check out your driving statistics up there. Radio information as well, of course. So when it comes to the sound systems, 6 speakers is going to come standard on this one. However, there is an optional 10-speaker JBL sound system, and yet again, we have that option. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Walking, there's lots of loose talking, they say. That's some old school country right there, but there was plenty of bass there. I could definitely tell. Not a ton of bass in that song, but you could feel the bass. That was a good bit. Plenty of clarity as well. JBL, they've been around for a long time now. Back in 2004, I had a JBL subwoofer in my first car, and it was definitely pretty nice. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Tacoma in reverse, you will find a rear view camera, and believe it or not, it does take up the entire screen, which is nuts considering the size of the screen. So that's pretty cool, but that as always is going to lead us into safety. And so let me start with IIHS top safety picks. That's a heck of a start right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors to tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. That gives you a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, road sign assist, dynamic radar cruise control, a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, and proactive driving assist as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Tacoma, I think it's pretty stinking cool that a manual transmission is still available in a truck these days. That's so rare. So let me just start by saying that. Very off-road capable as well. It's one of the things that Tacoma has definitely been known for quite a while now. So I like that. And so, but that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Younger Toyota somewhere on the screen there. Be sure to hit the subscribe, the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts we put on our channel as well. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.